All right. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning, I think. Barre class. So we'll start on the floor with a little bit of breathing and a little bit of warm up before we stand and do the rest of the workout on our feet. A block or ball between the inner thighs is helpful. And we'll lie back with our knees bent. It's fine to have a little blanket under your head if that's more comfortable. And really take the opportunity as we breathe to relax. We will work plenty hard over the course of the hour. And so for now, let the muscles relax, the joints relax, and let the breath as it moves through the body bring circulation and warmth into those areas. Of course, a lot of movement too, in preparation for that standing work. We inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And keep that going. Breath coming in through the nose, moving all the way down through the bottom of the side ribs, deep into the well of the belly. You'll connect or contract lightly through pelvic floor and the inner thighs as you exhale, and the breath reverses its course, lifting upward through the crown and leaving a trail of connection and support behind. Continue to do this, and of course your breath you're going to feel chiefly in your torso, perhaps exclusively, but we're adding in the connection of the inner thighs and the awareness of the feet to begin to get a more holistic sense of what we're doing, both in our movement and in what we're paying attention to. Inhale through the nose. From the feet and the inner thighs, begin to squeeze the block as you kegel and exhale, and feel the space between the arches, helping to define the long axis down the length of your body. 2 more breaths in and out. Inhaling downward, when the lungs are full, kegel, squeeze the block, and exhale upward. And 1 more of those, please. And then we'll do 3 or 4 hip rolls. Move the head out from under your head or reduce its height. We'll be rolling through the spine, the hips specifically on up until we rest on the shoulders. If you haven't seen one before, watch one. We'll inhale in place. Aware of the feet, defining our long axis. We exhale, squeeze the block, engage kegel, and begin to roll the hips like a wheel, lifting the tailbone and each vertebra in turn, sequencing upward. Finding a neutral hip extension, a neutral posture, really from the center of the chest through the knees, and resting on the shoulders at the top. Inhale, kegel, exhale, and begin to roll down, so reversing that process. Resting confidently into the ground so that you don't feel like you need to hold or brace as you return to floor. And on out to neutral. Please do 2 more of these. Aware of the ground under your feet, you'll exhale, find your core, and use your abdominal muscles to begin to bend your spine. The rolling of the hips not only comes from the bending of the low spine, but from the work through the back of the thighs and glutes. Push the floor down with the feet and keep that awareness of the feet so that as you come to the top, you're not pushing the floor down with your neck or even with your shoulder tops. Inhale there, softening into the ground through neck and shoulder tops. Now exhale, roll down. Continue to, in essence, stand on your legs. Please do 1 more. Inhaling in preparation and exhaling to continue through the hip roll. When you've reached the top, check in with your posture, the extension of the hips, the work of the legs and the feet, and then inhale and kegel, exhale, roll down. When you've rolled all the way down to the ground, pause and extend your arms forward to the ceiling. Wrap your arms around your chest so that you're holding opposite shoulder tops, and rock a little side to side. So this is specifically a stretch for the back of the ribs, the sides of the waist as you twist. The space between the shoulders, which sometimes gets a little pinchy or tight. Return to center, remember, or look down and see which arm is on top. Extend the arms forward and then cross the other way. This is usually the goofy way or the funny feeling way. As you hold opposite shoulders, resume the rocking side to side. Twisting through the waist, not resisting through the neck. A couple more to each side and relax there. In center, extend the arms forward. And on your exhale breath, reach those arms back. Notice as you reach if the bottom of the ribs want to lift from the mat or if you can keep them comfortably in place and truly find an extension through the shoulders rather than through the spine. Inhale and exhale, return with the arms, bringing them forward of the shoulders. Stretch your elbows firm into your triceps, and on the next exhale, reach the arms back. Firm in the triceps, but not gripped in the shoulders. Find the full extension and stretch. Inhale here, and exhale, return. We do just one more of these. Plenty of shoulder movements to follow. Stretching back on the exhale. Now listen, a little bit different. Inhale here, and exhale, return, but just halfway. From that halfway position, now bend the elbows and spread them out to the sides. Slip your fingertips under the back of your head. We're ready for a couple of ab preps, thinking of this also as a way to stretch the back of the ribs. We'll start preparing for that with some head nods. So as you support the weight of your head in your hands, keep the weight of the head back into the ground. And inhale, nod the chin downward toward the chest. You should feel like the muscles in your throat do the work of nodding the head. And guide with the hands. On the exhale, release the nod of the chin. And inhale, repeat it, lightly contracting the muscles in the throat without contracting the muscles behind the neck. Release. And do one more. Inhale, nod the chin down. Now keep the chin nod. Squeeze the block in kegel and exhale. As the exhale rises through the bottom of the ribs and the diaphragm softens, you bend forward from the mat. The head and the shoulder tops lifted, the pelvis neutral. Inhale, kegel. Squeeze the block and exhale. Lower down. 4 more, please. Nodding the head, toning the muscles of the throat without gripping the neck. Now exhale and bend forward. At the top of your forward bend, hold and use your inhale to draw breath down into the deep well of the pelvis through the sides of the bottom ribs. Now listen, as you exhale, you're relaxing respiratory diaphragm. Feel the breath rising up through the bottom of the ribs, and as it passes through, then it is your cue to bend. I've been talking a lot about sequence and timing. It matters a lot. Inhale and exhale, lower. Last 2, nod the chin with inhale. Apply your core connection as you exhale, and finding your proper timing, bend forward. Hold at the top. Keep your kegel, anchor your inhale with that pelvic floor tone. Exhale and lower down. Please do one more. Now this time we stay at the top. At the top, in your forward bend, please use your lower abs to also make an imprint. So our feet are on the ground. We now have an imprint through the low back. The rest of the spine is flexed as well as we're bent forward 3 times as you hold this position and make the head and shoulders progressively more comfortable. Find your feet, Kegel, exhale, squeeze the block, firm the lower abs, feel the response there. Inhale, repeat that, Kegel, exhale, squeeze the block, release the jawline, the back of the neck, the pinchy spot between the shoulder blades. One more, Kegel, exhale, squeeze the block. Inhale, and exhale, lower down. Put the block off to the side, stretch your legs out long. Your legs stretched out long, we'll inhale, and you're lying down. I'm just sitting up to see you. Inhale, pull the toes back, and exhale, point the toes away. We'll do this 10 times. Inhale, lifting the toes back, stretching the heels long, they might lift from the ground, and then exhale, pointing. We're still using our core connection with the breath, keeping your Kegel. Inhale, pull the toes back, stretch long behind the heels and the knees. And then exhale, point through the toes, firming the inner thighs as well as pelvic floor and the medial quads. Continue through your set of 10. And of course, because we're going to be standing on our feet for the most of class, you want to have your feet warmed up a little bit even before we put weight into them. Last couple probably, inhale, pulling toes back, and exhale, pointing away. One more. When you finish your last repetition, just take the feet in some circles, both tracking in the same direction. So both maybe clockwise or counterclockwise. And then go the other way. Both feet tracking in the same direction. There's some nervous system reasons for doing it this way. I won't bore you with those reasons, but just play along. And then shake it out. And we're going to come to standing. I'll change my camera angle, and you can put your mat away or out of the way. You'll still want your block, and you'll still want your weights eventually. You guys can see me, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna bring the light up in the room. I forgot I didn't turn my light on. Maybe that will help. Oh, it's like night and day. Okay. So standing here, we're gonna walk through our feet. You can have a hand on a countertop or on the thing you're gonna use for your bar if you like. Let me just start, or continue rather, the warm up of the feet. Heading across the sides, nice and gooey, into the toes and the ankle. We have about 3 more to each side. Ooh, lots of cracks and popples. Crackles and pops. And then put one foot down. We'll stretch the other foot over. We'll be on the top of that foot. And then bend into the knees. So here is our stretch for the top of the foot, the front of the ankle. Feel free to move your head or shoulders around a little bit. And then come out of that and do the other foot right away. Move your shoulders a bit, let the breath be easy. Uncross, and we'll do a little cat-cow through the spine. So we didn't do extension on the mat, we'll add extension here at this point. And if you prefer not to hold on to a countertop, you can do the same thing with your hands on your thighs. Bend into your knees, have a relatively wide stance, and sink your hips back. From a neutral posture, prepare with an inhale. Feel your feet into the ground, Kegel, And exhale to start to round the spine. So it's that hip roll-like initiation, rounding through each vertebra. Only this time we come into that completely flexed shape and keep it. Inhale here. Now exhale, begin to return to neutral with the pelvis, the length of your waist, your ribs, your shoulders, your head. And then on your inhale, firm the bottom of the shoulder blades, very specifically, reaching the chest forward and up, freeing the neck. Let that go and do that 2 more times. And as you do the subsequent repetitions, it'll probably feel a little smoother. We'll probably move a little faster. The idea is we want that rippling sort of sequence, both into and out of flexion, and then into our extension as we target bottom of the shoulder blades. 1 more repetition, please. Yes. When you've completed that last extension, release your body forward. Keep a deep bend of the knees. And with that deep bend of the knees, allow your chest or belly to hang down towards your thighs and just sort of shift around through your shoulders a little bit. This is relatively unscripted. We want a little movement through the shoulder girdle. You can sway side to side if you like. And then with the weight firmly into the feet, push the floor down and exhale, roll up. At this point, we'll get our block or ball or whatever you're using for your inner thighs. Block today. So, just the same as we're breathing on the ground with our knees bent, we want to be relatively relaxed. We want to feel like carrying your body through space requires a lot of strain and effort. So feeling relaxed, stacked comfortably over the feet. Inhale through the nose and allow the breath to descend through your leg. From your feet, like the exhale rises up, the inner thighs squeeze, defining that elongated axis. Pelvic floor lifts and the breath is boosted. The exhale breath is boosted through the crown of the head. Inhale moves downward. And from ground, exhale moves upward. Two more of these. Keep that directionality of the breath in your awareness. And we'll apply it to our movement. Inhale downward. Exhale, lifting upward. This time as you inhale, bend the knees, releasing through the hips and the ankles as well. And as you exhale, stretch the legs, pushing the floor down, stretching upward as the breath rises. Inhale, bend into the knees. Whatever is between them should help guide them in an aligned way into flexion. And then Kegel, exhale, activate the inner line of the thighs, the medial quads as you fully stretch, feel the breath lifting up through the lower abs, through the height of your crown. Inhale, bend your knees. Super simple. Exhale, stretch through your legs. Quads will work. At the end of your hip extension, you'll feel your glutes and abs working as well. Two more. Super important as you straighten the knees to use the muscles and maintain them into the full extension. Of course, again, I'm talking about your quads. If you have hypermobility with your knees and they like to hyperextend and go all over the place, it's possible to straighten your legs without ever using your muscles. So keep the legs straight here. And once, exhale, in your straight leg position, squeeze the block and feel the support in the thighs for the length of your knees. Maybe a light hand on a chair or bar. We'll inhale now and lift the heels. And exhale. Lower them. Inhale, bend your knees, returning to our initial movement, and exhale, straighten. So through the full range, inhale, lift your heels up, and exhale, Lower them, pardon me. Inhale, bend your knees. And exhale, stretch. Do 2 more of these, rising and keeping the firmness and support for the knees. Lowering heels, inhale, bending the legs, exhale, stretching. 1 more. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, bend your knees and different. Keep the knees bent. Exhale here, squeeze the block. Keep the knees bent. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, stretch your legs. Keep the thigh muscles, inner thighs as well as quads, and lower the heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, stretch your leg. And inhale, lower. 3 more. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, use your lower legs and feet. Bring the heels up. Fully stretch. Again, feel the glutes, the low abs, the inner thighs. Inhale, lower. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Now listen, exhale, bend your knees and stay. So I'm going to shift my direction so you can see what I'm doing. We'll do little pulses downward. Squeezing the block. You might not need to hold on to anything. Exhale, lower your hips. Feel like they're dropping away from the bottom of the ribs as the sides of the waist lengthen. Come up a little bit. Now you're still in your neutral posture. Exhale, lower your hips. Feeling length in that neutral alignment. Up a little. Exhale, pulse down. Up a little. 2 more. Up a little. Pulse down and stay down. And then bring your arms up. Inhale, here's our extension of the spine. Turn the palms down and exhale, round forward like you're doing an ab prep. Inhale up. I'm gonna have to ditch this jacket. And exhale, bending in your waist. So now we are changing posture. We're holding the height of the hips and the work in the legs, extending and flexing. 1 more. Return to neutral. Maybe place a hand on your support and stretch your legs, exhaling as you come all the way up. Inhale, lift your heels. Now, keep your vertical spine and exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, heels stretch down to the floor. You might need to tilt forward, that's fine. And exhale, stretch. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, slide your spine down a wall. As you inhale and lower your heels, allow your spine to tilt, but retain your neutral. And then straighten your legs. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Through the whole set, 1 more time, up. Squeezing the block and feeling the knees being guided toward their aligned position. Heels down. And stretch. Now listen, we'll come up 1 more time. And bend the knees 1 more time. Now don't go very far down. And the height that you use will depend on the state of your knees, how steady you feel, how your energy level is. We're gonna keep our back on that wall, keep the heels lifted, and slide down it in pulses, exhaling. Up a little, exhale, lower. So if your knees are a little cranky, you might do this right from the top. If you're feeling pretty good, you can get real low in this. Only don't tilt forward. It's providing a bad example. Whatever you're doing, do 2 more of these. And then at the bottom, lower your heel and stretch your legs. Put your block off to the side. Oh, let's do a lunge. So send a leg back. I'm using my right leg. Drop the chin to the chest and take your head in the opposite direction of the leg that's in back, beginning a big circle. Repeat the circle and allow the shoulders and the chest to go with it. And then step forward and exchange the legs so the new leg is back. Hang out here for a moment, let your calves release. And then we take the head in the opposite direction or away from the back leg, just circling the neck. Second time around the circle, you can take your shoulders and your chest. And then step forward. Okay. So we're gonna march across the sides. You don't want the block. And I'll give you a breath for it. Start by simply exhaling and feeling your feet against the ground. When you've got that sense of feet into the ground, know that you're gonna be picking up one foot and then the other. On an inhale breath, you'll do that, pick the foot up. And exhale, put it down. As you put the foot down, stand in it, right? Don't stay over on the side that you're gonna pick up next. That's no good. Inhale, new side lifts. Exhale, put that foot into the ground. And then inhale, pick up the other one. So we all know this intuitively just because we can walk around, but sometimes when we do it consciously, you know, we'll put a foot into the ground, but we'll still have our weight to the other side, and then it's awkward. So do this 2 or 3 more times across the sides. Stand on your contact with the ground. And try to organize over the inner thigh of that standing leg, referencing your big toe. And one more. And then put that foot down and lift the first leg. We're going to inhale and bend the standing leg. And exhale and straighten it. Yeah, inhale and bend the standing leg. And exhaling to straighten it. Still referencing the inner thigh line down into the arch and the big toe. And as you push off the ground, firming inner thigh and medial quads to support the extension of the knee. Please do 3 more. One more. Active breath, active foot and leg. Put the other foot down and just kind of swing that leg around, little circles around the tips of the toes, which go up into the hip, go the other way. Woo. All right. Stand for a moment, catch your breath, both feet into the ground. We'll do a second, albeit more abbreviated version of the walking, starting with the other leg. Inhale and exhale. Now this time, if you're looking for that sort of physical therapy, like, you know, neurological involvement, as you lift a knee, touch it with the opposite hand. So we get that cross crawl pattern going in the brain and in the body. One more time to each side. And then you stand on the new leg. Pick up the other foot. Identify where you're standing and inhale, bend into that leg. From the big toe through the inner thigh, exhale, straighten the knees. Inhale, bend, standing leg. And exhale, straighten it. Keep that going. We're aiming for 6 or 7 repetitions. Use the ground under your foot, but try not to claw the toes up, right? Like little dragon toes. Spread them out. Feel the ball of the foot planted and the arch active without a lot of tension under the toe beds. Let's say 2 more. Now the torso, the spine, the low back and neck should all be comfortable because we're just gliding up and down that vertical line in space. Ooh, the other foot down and shake out the leg you were standing on. The other way. All right. So the leg we were just standing on, I'd like you to lunge it back. So that leg is lunging back. We have cactus arms. Okay. If any of you have ever been in a modern dance class, you may have done this exercise. We've got cactus arms, and it's a variation of a twist we've been doing already. This time, instead of twisting toward the back leg, we just twist toward the front leg. So keeping the arms and the head in the same relationship, we exhale and twist. And inhale, release. Exhale, twist. Inhale, release. And keep that going. You're including your cradle, of course. Let the weight of your arms rest into the base of the shoulder blades rather than the base of the neck. 3 more. And then return. Place the front hand or the hand down on the front leg. Extend the other arm over the head and bend the side away from the back leg. Release. Step the legs together. Other side goes back. And we repeat the same 2 actions. So we've got those weird cactus arms. We're going to twist and pulses 10 times toward the front leg, but not move the pelvis or unsteady the leg. Exhale, twist. Release. And twist. And of course, we're getting a pretty sweet stretch through the back calf. Try not to torque the neck or to twist the shoulder girdle. The head and the neck are just riding on top of the ribs. And the twist is lower in the spine. 3 more. Front hand, or hand goes to front leg. Other arm reaches high. And we bend to the side away from the back leg. Curve it forward, step it forward. And that leg you just brought to the front, we're going to go up and down on, right? So a hand to the support you're using. Both feet on the ground. We'll exhale, lift the heels. Transfer over to the other leg. Inhale down. Exhale up. Down. And up. Inhale down. And up. Down. And up. Keep going. Keep this part of the thigh firm, both the inner thigh and the quads. Keep the big toe grounded without scrunching the toes. 3 more. You are feeling muscles outside the hip, but be sure to not to grip them or to tilt or be pulled to that side. Another foot goes down. Pardon me. The foot you were standing on, cross it over in a figure 4 and sit back. It should be a nice stretch for the outer hip in case it was overused. And then just move through that figure 4 foot. Even rub half a little bit. Shake it out. And we do the other side. I'm going to come over to the other windowsill here. Both feet into the ground. We've got neutral. Inhale moves down through the body. Rebounding from under the floor, under the feet, you exhale and rise. Shift over to the new foot and inhale, lower. Exhale up. Inhale down. We're aiming for 10, somewhere in the neighborhood of 10. So the point of this isn't to push yourself into injury, right? Or even into sort of chronic discomfort. And that could be in the hip, the knee, the foot, the ankle. We're about halfway through. But to really just specifically strengthen the lower leg. After a winter in boots and shoes can sometimes get a little weak. You'll also notice keeping the legs straight, that the hamstrings and the glutes are working. Let's go up and down a couple more times. I've lost count, I'm afraid. Put the other foot on the floor. Cross over figure 4 and sit down. Oh man, yeah. Circle your foot. Go the other way. Okay. So now we stretch both calves. That should feel pretty good. While we're stretching the calves, we may as well do a little bit of plank and push-ups because the shoulders haven't gotten a lot of attention up to this point. So get where you need to get proximity-wise. And just start by bending and stretching the knees a couple of times, keeping the heels on the ground or lowered toward the ground. We'll inhale and bend the knees, letting the heels drop back to the ground and trying to keep them centered, so not rolling to the outside or the inside of the foot. And then apply your core muscles to your exhale and vice versa as you stretch the legs. Do that one more time. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, stretch the legs. Keep the knees straight and inhale just once. Lift the heels. Feel your shoulders dropping from your neck. And then exhale, ground the center of the heels. Inhale, bend the elbows. Exhale, push away. Timing matters here too. Inhale, bend the elbows. Begin the exhale. And as you feel the strength and length build upward and downward, then you push away. Inhale. Four more. Last two. Feel this in the back of your arms and across the chest, as well as in the length of your legs and core. Last one. When you've pushed away, go ahead and reach back into your squat again. Whew. So a deep bend in the hips and the knees and a chance to really stretch into extension through the shoulders. So as you hold here, we're going to use this as a way to bring awareness to the deltoids as well as to the muscles that hold the elbows long. With the hips down, the knees bent, and the hips really pulling back away from the shoulders. Press lightly into the fingertips from the bottom of the shoulder blade area. So not from the bottom of your neck, but from the bottom of your shoulder blades. Keep that grounding in the bottom of the shoulder blades and make sure that the ribs haven't extended forward of your line. Now exhale and lift one set of fingers from the windowsill or whatever you're using. Inhale, lower down. Go across to the other side. Exhale. Deltoids working. Lifting the arm up and inhale. Again, across the sides. Exhale. Don't use your neck. Inhale, lower. Exhale. And inhale, lower. Round into the spine, releasing your arms. Hang here for a moment, shimmying out your shoulders, and then bring your palms to forward facing, and inhale, lift up. Exhale, set the tone in your legs and your feet, and inhale, open the arms apart, extending the spine. Exhale, reach the arms forward, rounding the spine, returning to our cat and cow, but with a little bit different angle and action through the shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Couple more. One more exactly. Inhale and exhale. Lower the arms down, push the floor away, roll up, and shake it all out. Grab your weights, please. All right, guys. So weights in the hands. We'll kind of start with our standards, bringing the arms into biceps curls and then forward. Let's return to the legs though, and make a little bit of a connection between the heels. Move back so you can see that. So, a little bit of connection between the heels, from a big squish in the outer part of the hips, should come from a feeling of lift and toning across the bottom of the thighs and underneath the glute line. And that little bit of a triangle across the feet gives you a nice broad foundation so that balance is not a problem. Feel the spine stacked comfortably above, connected to the bottom of the shoulder blades and ribs, and free up the shoulder tops and chest. Exhale, bend your elbows. And inhale, stretch. We do 10 of these guys, so quite a few. And I encourage you to target areas where you are challenged. For me, leg alignment is a big one. I can usually sort out my upper body, my neck and my shoulders, but sometimes my knees are wonky. Where you're holding your alignment from can be another, we're in the last half, another thing to look at. It might be just the ability to maintain pelvic floor tone as you breathe. Let's do 3 more. So that breath connection relative to pelvic floor tone is important. Understanding that the tone of your Kegel should be elastic and adaptable. We'll find that here, allowing the arms to lower, bringing the inside of the elbows and palms parallel to the sides, and then inhale, bending the knees, allowing them to open away from each other. Push the floor, Kegel without drawing the knees together, and then exhale, lengthen the legs upward, find under the back of the hips through the inner thighs. Inhale, bend into the knees. It's about the inner thighs and pelvic floor as you push from the toes, the big toes, and lift through your center. 3 more. And 2 more. One more. Now keep that. Turn the inside of the elbows forward and exhale, lift the arms to the front. Inhale, lower them down. Exhale and lift, and try not to sway the shoulders behind the hips to do that, or to pop the ribs in front. All right, keep everything lined up. and balanced steady over the support space between your feet. Developing this into a side motion, exhale, lift. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And inhale, lower. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. 2 more like this, please. Arms down by your sides, elbows facing inward, parallel through the legs. I'm gonna give you the side view, but you can stay where you are as long as you have space in front of you. We're gonna bend a little bit into the knees. And on the exhale breath, tilt forward from the hips, letting the arms hang in space. Inhale, come up, keep your Kegel. Challenge elasticity in pelvic floor as you keep your Kegel, and exhale, bend forward from the hips, spreading, lifting sitting bones, and then inhale, coming up. Right, pretty specific Kegel, but allow the base of the pelvis to stretch apart so that forward flexion can occur. Then inhale up. Exhale, bend forward and stay. Inhale, bend into the knees. And then exhale, push through the legs. Inhale, encouraging further flexibility in the lower chain of the body. And exhaling, using the strength of legs and core into ground. One more. And then keep that deep bend in the knees and hips. And on your exhale, bend your elbows, pull them back. Release forward, pull them back. And release. Can you target core connection with the exhale breath and all that that implies without starting to create an ache or tightness in the lower back or back of the neck? 2 more. Keep the elbows bent and then go ahead and stand up. Straighten your legs. And on the exhale, rotate laterally. Inhale, bring back to parallel. Exhale, rotate laterally. Inhale to parallel. Keep that going. We've got 4 more. Lateral rotators behind and inside the back of the armpit. Last couple. The last time you rotate open, stay there. Now listen, you're probably not going to be at 180. We'll keep whatever angle we're on. And on the inhale, reach away a little bit. And on the exhale, squeeze in, elevate the chest, drop the shoulders. Inhale, reach away. And exhale. I'm providing a bad example with my feet. You're in parallel. Standing and then lifting. 2 more. Opening shoulders, hips, and chest. Exhale, finding your height upward. 1 more. Rotate back in front and release the arms down. Roll your shoulders a little bit. How are we doing, guys?
Good.
All right. Let's go ahead and do another thing here with arms in an overhead-ish position, and we'll have a wider stance through the legs. So we'll find our laterally rotated support from the back of the hips and from the inside pelvic floor, and step apart to a second position. Because when we bend our knees, it's going to whack into our arms. We'll just bring the arms in front and have the palms facing the thighs. And we'll start with some pliés here, grounding the shoulders with extra pull of the weights. Prepare with an exhale. Keep elastic connection in pelvic floor. And inhale, bend the knees, reaching them wide, skimming the inner thighs past the hands. Then from the ground, exhale and stretch the legs, lengthening upward. Inhale, bend. And exhale. 4 more, please. Now try not to let the arms progressively sneak forward. Keep the shoulders wide. Last 2, don't push from your knees. And your plie is only the size that you can manage. Push from your feet. Use the strong muscles around your thighs. 1 more. Allow the knees to glide. And pause. So in our plie, and again, only as much of a plie as you can manage without causing injury, we're going to do a little bit of pressing upward. So plie here, arms parallel. We're going to exhale and stay steady in the position of the body and extend one arm at a time. Other arm. And alternate across the sides. Now we no longer have the arms hanging in front of the inner thighs. So don't let your turnout muscles grow lazy and the inner thighs start to drop inward, right? You have to keep that open rotation through the hips, knees tracking toward the ankles and toes, wherever that might be. 1 more across the sides. And then stretch the legs, bring your arms down. 1 more thing, and if you need to release rotation for a moment and shake out the hips, that's fine. We're going to take our side bending with 1 arm overhead in our wide second position. As an option, if that second position is unsustainable for hips or knees, you can do the same thing here, yeah? In your first position, still working the rotators and alignment, but not with as much challenge for the knees specifically. So if you're doing the second position version, you'll go ahead and bend into your plie. Have your left hand down and your right hand behind the head. All right. And of course, if you're in first position, you'll be here. On your inhale, bend to the left. And then on your exhale, return. Inhale. Inhale. Now be careful of your neck. The back of my head is resting into my weight as both a stabilizing force and a reminder of where the rest of my spine is. 2 more. Now if you can, hold the side bend and do 6 triceps extensions. Exhale. Inhale. Almost done. Return from side bend, stretch the legs, bring the arms down. Hey, 1 more side to do. Move your shoulders around. And decide where you want to work, either in first position or in second position. We're going to bend into the knees if we're in second position. This time the right hand is down. Rest your weight into your feet, no matter which position you've chosen for the legs. And feel the alignment from the hips downward through the center of the knees, the shins into the ankles and the toes. Left hand is up and behind the head. And we start our side bending here on an inhale. Returning on exhale. Three more. Try not to grip the ankles or the knees. And then we bend side and stay, then do 6 triceps extensions. On the exhale, extending through the elbow. Keep weight in both feet. And return from side bend. Oh my goodness, bring the arm down, stretch your legs, put your weights down, please. Nice work, you guys. All right, check out your legs. Yeah. You can find something to hang on to with a hand. We're just gonna cross one leg over and sit back. So it's not a figure 4 stretch, it's a closed position. You can even prop your other elbow, or both elbows if you like, on the leg. You don't want to feel unstable or worried about your balance. Turn your head no, and shake it yes. And then uncross and do the other side right away. Close between the inner hips and thighs, bending deeply. Right, and find a stable position that you can hang out in and breathe. Try to square it off so you're not swaying your hip out to one side. You don't have a big twist in the waist, the shoulders. Subtle movements through the head and neck. And then rolling it up and crossing. Both feet on the ground. A little bit of width between them. Nod the chin to the chest, and a vertebra at a time begin to bend or fall forward. Now at a certain point, you're going to want to bend a little bit into the knees probably, and that's okay. Try not to grip your toes. You've got a view of them as you go down. Relaxing the toes, keeping the ball of the feet grounded, the heels centered. Inhale at the bottom, bend your knees a little bit more deeply. Weight into your feet, begin to exhale and push off the ground to roll up, stretching your legs as you fully extend through the spine. And then hold an imaginary ball between your hands. Inhale, bend into the knees. And then exhale as you stretch the legs, bring that ball up and maybe over one shoulder, or certainly reaching off to one side. All right, so bend into the knees, we go the other side. Exhale, you can either really twist and take the ball back, or you could just keep it reasonable, yeah? Like all of these things, you work through a range that is healthy for you at this point in time. Now, with your eyes, you're watching the movement of that ball. We'll finish the round we're on and do one more. And then let the arms fall. Bring your feet underneath you. Bring your hands together and just rub. So you're building a little heat between your hands. We're finishing up. Open the hands apart from each other and don't touch your face, but open them over the surface of the skin. Feel the warmth of your hands and your face radiating into each other. Feel the breath as it passes over your skin. Begin to lower your hands, placing one on the center of your chest, one on the center of the belly, just below the navel. Eyes open or closed. Inhale, feel the chest opening and the belly allowing breath down into the hips. Center your toes against the ground, kegel. And as you exhale, feel the line of breath defined by your inner thighs, boosted by pelvic floor, lifting through the crown. One more, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, release your arms, eyes open. Exhale in a sigh. And that's it for today, you guys. Drink your water, take care of yourselves, eat good things.
Thank you, John.